The Ninth Amendment of the Constitution. The Ninth Amendment is incredibly important, not because it gives any particular right, but because it explains the philosophy of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and how they should be thought of and interpreted. The amendment states, the enumeration of the Constitution of certain rights shall not be constructed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. The Founding Fathers were trying to address the idea that if a right isn't mentioned in the Constitution, then it doesn't exist at all. What the Ninth Amendment does is say that all the rights outlined in the Constitution are the limited and narrow number of rights that the government can concern themselves with. This means that there are other rights that may exist aside from the ones explicitly mentioned, and even though they are not listed, it does not mean they can be violated. When the United States Constitution was first sent out to the states to be voted on, the Anti-Federalists argued that there should also be a Bill of Rights. However, the Federalists did not think it was necessary. They worried that putting in a Bill of Rights gave power to the government by specifically discussing what the government could not do. These debates led to the Virginia Ratifying Convention trying to compromise by proposing a constitutional amendment that said that any amendments limiting Congress's power should not be a reason to extend their power. The proposal led to the creation of the Ninth Amendment. When James Madison introduced the Ninth Amendment to the House of Representatives, he said that this draft was to prevent increasing power of the government and is put in as a cautionary measure. He felt that the first 8 amendments talked about how the federal government could exercise its powers, and the Ninth Amendment referred to many rights that could still not be taken away by the government. The Ninth Amendment of the Bill of Rights was put into the United States Constitution on September 5, 1789, and was voted for by 9 out of 12 states on December 15, 1791. True or false? The Ninth Amendment does not actually give any rights, but rather just makes a statement about them. The Ninth Amendment came into play in 1965 in the U.S. Supreme Court case of Griswold v. Connecticut. The case challenged Connecticut's 1879 law prohibiting the use of any drug, medicinal article, or instrument for the purpose of preventing conception. Estelle Griswold, Executive Director of Planned Parenthood, League of Connecticut, and Dr. Charles Lee Buxton opened a birth control clinic in New Haven. The pair were arrested and tried, convicted of offering services to prevent conception. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that Connecticut's law was unconstitutional, as it violated the right to marital privacy. The 7-2 decision pointed out that although the Bill of Rights does not specifically mention privacy, it is inherent and implied in the other protections provided by the Constitution, and that the right to privacy is seen as a right of the individuals to be protected against governmental intrusion of their lives.